Hi, my name is Brooke Lipman.
And I'm Dr. Deb Lipman.
And this is Wine Together,
a podcast where we drink some wine and have a chat. Because we drink wine like regular people, with food, opinions, and absolutely zero pressure to sound fancy.
So sit back, relax, and get that corkscrew ready.
Okay, Brooke.
Yep.
I'm just, talking because I want to make sure my microphone is moving in a direction it should.
Yeah, I don't know why it's been.
Well, we're just going to keep working on it, and that's okay. And I want, my problem is I tend to always want to look at you because I'm talking to you.
Except the problem is that you don't at all. You think that's what you're doing, but you're not. You're actually looking the other way, and that's
that
why...
way toward the window?
Yes.
I never look toward the window.
It's every single... You're not the one that edits it. It is every single time, and you always put the microphone on the other side, and then I can't hear you when I'm editing.
Okay. I cannot imagine why I would ever look toward the window, but whatever. Anyway, the wine. Okay, we're back to a good red. Well, you know what? I think we've been drinking a few red wines.
Yep.
But this one, we found this inexpensive red wine. We thought, oh, wow. We got excited because it was a 2022, maybe not have to decant it too much. And we thought, and of course, it's from one of our favorite regions in Italy. Brooke has a friend from there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jim, if you're listening, hi. We want to say hello. The Puglia region of Italy, and y'all have heard us talk about this region quite a bit. It's, in that boot area, the heel of the boot, when you look at Italy. So, yeah, it's they're known for quite a few good red wines, the Primitivo being one of them. But this week, we're doing the Salice Salentino. I love saying it. Salice Salentino. It's a Rosso 2022. And when I had not had this one. I know, shocking. My 60 years on this planet Earth had not had a Rosso 2022. Anyway, Brooke, I didn't know if you'd had it before. Have you had this one? So we looked at it. We kind of liked the bottle. It was really kind of a daring kind of looking bottle. It was dark, like black label, just golden gray writing on it. It was like, oh, it's kind of a, neat. I just, I like bottles. I like to look at the bottles. But this one, I was worried because it was so inexpensive. I thought, oh, is this just another table wine? And let me tell you, it is not. It tastes expensive. I thought. In my opinion, it tasted expensive. So I can't wait for y'all to hear what we paired it with. Because, we really thought it's just going to be kind of, an inexpensive red wine from a wonderful part of Italy that we absolutely love. But, we weren't going to pair it with this fancy dinner. And I have to say, it was such a treat to me. Such a treat to have this, what we had for dinner with this fancy red wine, and it was such a perfect blend. And I have this great title that I hope that you'll kind of feel the same way, Brooke. But smoke, spice, in Southern Italy, because we definitely had all of that. And it's so funny because the spices that we have in the wine, and we're going to get to that first taste, I promise. The spices we had in the wine are so different than the spices we had in the food that Brooke chose to cook for us. So anyway, let's have that first sip.
Okay. Ching ching.
Ching ching. I forget, the different salutes.
Mm-hmm.
This is so good. It is such a good one. I'm telling you, I want 15 bottles of this so that I can just reach for it whenever I have somebody over that I kind of want to impress. And I'm certain we paid less than 10 francs a bottle. But I think we only paid around 6 francs at the most for this bottle. And it tastes, okay, it's got a smooth finish to it. The tannins are not strong. It's almost like they're so mature that you don't feel the tannins. And it's not a bold, it's a medium-bodied blend that just is drinkable. And I know, yes, this would be perfect with pizza because this wine is screaming for cheese. So a charcuterie board, Parmesan, mozzarella, any of those, pecorino, because I know, one of our favorite people in the whole wide world, Katie, likes her pecorino. So this wine definitely goes with all that. And I I just like the way these are blended because it does not taste like it doesn't drink like something you have to kind of hold your breath and swallow. Sometimes, sometimes red wines are like that. You just kind of you take the sip. It's a little bold. It's a little dry, and you just kind of have to swallow and say, "Ooh, yeah, wonderful." This one's not like that. So my first thought on this, my very first sip, when I, tried it, I thought, "Oh, it's smooth." That was the only thing I could get out. And then, on second sip, it's usually when I can pick up my berries and my spices. Usually I get the berries right off the front. And you do with this one. You absolutely get dark berries, dark cherries, black currants, you definitely do. But the spices is usually when I get with the second. Oh my gosh, and it does have like a smooth vanilla spice. It's so good. It smells like, fortunately it doesn't smell like the vineyard. I don't know those of you out there who've been to lots of vineyards, especially like if you were to go to the vineyard in July and August, you definitely smell the country air. The vineyards are still being fertilized and, so it does not smell like the vineyard then. And a lot of times the wines will smell like that. And I got to tell you, I am going off the subject just a little bit because I did a hike through a vineyard on this past weekend, and I noticed, and it's so funny because once you start talking about wines and learning about how things are produced and made, you start to notice those things in a different way. So our hike just happened to be through a vineyard, and I noticed at this particular vineyard there were these beautiful, like, apricot colored roses at the end of each line or each row of grapevines. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's how they get this floral fragrance. They had the pretty rose bushes at the end of it. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I learned that by seeing it firsthand. So that was pretty interesting to me. But anyway, I want you to talk to me about, this wine does have DOC status, so it definitely has, standards that it's definitely not just a table wine. And that's what I wanted to get across is even though I thought it was going to be a standard table wine, because of the price, I was pleasantly surprised that it's not. Your thoughts on the wine? I promise we'll get into the food.
Okay. Well, I do really like this one. I think it's a lot smoother than other red wines we've had. Sorry, I was so distracted because I'm still trying to figure out how to fix your microphone. But yeah, I do really like this one. I think I do think it would go with almost anything, actually.
I do
think
too.
You could pair it with something crazy.
Tomato sauces. I'm telling you, any cheese, any Italian cheese.
Yeah,
this one's gonna go.
If I can talk about the food now.
Oh, absolutely, because and mainly because I just want everybody to be so surprised. I want you to be as surprised as I was with this food choice. Because I was surprised and I was not sure. Oh my goodness, it was so fantastic. Okay, go ahead.
So the recommended pairings were, I think it was was it like grilled meat?
Yeah, grilled meat.
Spicy pasta, and aged cheese. So like all the cheeses that you said are aged cheese. So yes, any Italian cheese pretty much would go with this wine. And so I was like, I looked up like dishes with grilled chicken and aged cheese, and like the first thing that came up was barbecue chicken grilled cheese. I couldn't remember if it was For some reason, I keep wanting to say mac and cheese.
Oh.
It's because I've been eating
So in
mac
your
and
brain.
cheese all week. But it was really good because the picture looked so good.
Yeah.
And I think mine looked prettier than the picture.
I will say, it looked really good.
It
and
looked
it tasted
It
awesome.
looked very close to the picture,
Mhm.
too. Like, you were like, it's not going to look like that. And I made it look like that. See, I'm better at that than restaurants, apparently. I'm pretty good at making the dishes look pretty. But I was like, oh, this will be fun and easy, because, you know, usually things take me over an hour to cook, and it's not that we didn't have time to do it, it's
Right.
just like, you know, I've had a busy week, so I was like, oh, this will be fun and easy, and then I get to try it, and then, like, I can make it again.
So let's start from the bottom and work our way to the top of this sandwich. Why did you choose the bread that you chose? Tell us what bread you chose.
Okay, so we found a ciabatta.
Loaf.
A loaf of ciabatta. Because, so the recipe called for sourdough bread.
Mhm.
They don't have sourdough here. Like,
unless somebody
unless
personally
it's like,
makes it.
yeah, you would have to like make it. I mean, I'm sure there are bakeries that make sourdough.
Yeah. Mhm.
But we were at the grocery store. Like, you
Yeah.
can't get sourdough at the grocery store, at least not here in this area. And so I wanted something fluffy also, and we were gonna pick something else, and then we saw the ciabatta on sale.
Correct.
Are you gonna
On
do
sale.
better?
I'm trying this just in case.
And so I was like, oh, that'll be really good, even though we had already picked up the bread, but it was already in the bag, so it's not like we touched it.
Yes.
So it was fine to put it back. But the ciabatta, you did have to touch the bread, so we couldn't have put it back after that.
Right.
But it was really good. I was really happy with it.
Yeah, but we had to slice it ourselves at home.
Yeah.
So,
I think
you know,
that's
which
even
is kind of a
better.
normal thing
I
here.
like that
you know.
even better than having it pre-sliced,
I did too.
think.
I did too. It was so fresh.
Yeah.
My goodness. Okay, so there's that layer,
Mhm.
our bottom layer, and then what you do next.
Well,
this is
the
the best
chicken-
part.
the
No,
chick-
no, no.
Oh.
A slice of aged cheddar.
Yeah. Yeah, we have this aged cheddar here that we like, and they have it in slices also, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't hold it too close to your mouth when you take a sip, because it's really gross.
Okay.
Sorry, it's and so that cheddar is really good, and yeah.
It is a very good cheddar.
Yeah, it is
okay,
an
so there was
English
that sharp
cheddar.
aged cheese with this red wine. Okay, and then we had the bread in the skillet, then a slice of cheddar. Then what'd you do next?
The chicken next.
Right. So tell us all about that chicken
So
mix, because it wasn't just chicken.
Well, you cooked the chicken,
Mm-hmm.
and you did not tell me you were gonna put the barbecue sauce in the chicken when you cooked it.
That's kind of the way you make
I
a
mean,
barbecue chicken.
That's fair. I mean, we were hoping to get something that was already cooked, and we couldn't find anything.
Correct.
So we did end up having to cook it ourselves, and we used like an apple smoked barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the barbecue sauce. I didn't like it with the cheddar. I think next time I want to do the Jack Daniel's honey barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Because they also had that. And we were debating, but they were about the same price.
Yeah, there was only
So
a
it
few
was
cents
like,
difference. Well, Roppin,
you know,
excuse us, Roppin difference.
So we decided to go with the with the apple smoked one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was still good.
It was
Like,
good, yeah.
We can use it for other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I personally did. I know you guys liked it with the cheddar, but I didn't personally like it with the cheddar. And then we put some red onions and jalapeños in it, 'cause that's what the recipe called for. And I'm glad that we already had some, because you also can't get fresh jalapeños here. You have to buy the ones in the jars.
Mm-hmm.
But those are actually really good. I like
Yeah,
those.
they're really good because they're almost sweet.
Yeah. And
As
the
opposed to
recipe-
just the flat out heat that you get in
Yeah.
the jarred
the
jalapenos
recipe-
in U.S.
The recipe also said pickled jalapenos, which is kind of what they are. They're
Yes.
not exactly pickled, but they're in like the sauce.
Yeah, they're in a vinegar,
Yeah.
but it, like I said, here they're kind of sweet, not hot.
Well, I mean, I took the seeds out. So.
Well, that's true, but I'm just saying, compared to what I'm used to, and they're different.
Yeah.
And to me, on the sweeter side. Okay, then what? Okay, so we've
Then
got
another-
bread,
The
cheddar,
cheese,
chicken mix. Then what?
another slice of cheese.
Another slice of that smoked cheddar.
And then another piece of bread.
Another piece of the bread. And it was thick because, you know, it's hard to slice thin.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I don't
the
think it would
lives.
have been good if it were thin.
I don't think so either. I'm telling
It
you,
wouldn't get
this
that
bread.
crunch, you know?
Yes, it had, when it was cooked, it had the beautiful golden brown uh, cooked butter on ciabatta bread. And you know, ciabatta's got those big old nooks and crannies in it, and so it cooked up so nicely. I thought it was just such an excellent pairing.
Very hard to flip.
Very, yes, it was hard to flip, but you know, you did it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I think it falling apart and then putting it back together in the pan is what made it look so good.
Yeah, because the cheddar melted
looked
and it
really
was like
good.
oozing everywhere. Yeah, I agree with that. I will say it was a good choice. It was a great pairing. I mean, the pairing was excellent.
Yeah, I think I might start going with crazy pairings now.
It was such a surprise.
One thing I want to do is like find the pairings for like what pairs with the one and do something not necessarily the opposite, but not exactly the food pairings. Like find something that I think would be
that would match.
enough that would be good.
Yeah, but still kind of match the flavor profiles, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're right. I and your dad didn't mind that apple flavored.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it probably reminded us. What's that?
Because you had the cream cheese on
Oh,
yours?
well, we did have cream cheese on ours, but, you know, that's okay. But I don't think that was necessarily the difference. I think that as soon as we bought the barbecue sauce, I immediately thought of Applejack whiskey and thought, oh, I hope it tastes like Applejack. And so it was in my head.
Is Applejack whiskey or moonshine?
Okay. Well, we had an Applejack moonshine from Davis, West Virginia that your dad brought me back a few years ago. But Jack Daniels also has an apple.
Oh,
they have the honey, but they also have an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Bailey's makes at certain times of the year, the Bailey's Irish Cream has an apple pie. Bailey's, and so I'll make our hot toddies. Usually when we get our first cold of the season, I make our hot toddies with Jack Daniels, that Bailey's, the apple pie Bailey's, and tea. And so I thought, my first thought was, oh, I'm gonna, it's gonna taste like, the Jack Daniels apple or the Applejack moonshine, like you were saying, yeah. But it didn't.
No.
I didn't get that at all. I didn't get any whiskey flavor at all like I was kind of wanting. And even though it was in my head, I thought, surely I'm going to make myself taste that. And it didn't taste that way. However, I've had you've had your apples this week. I've had apple stuff this week. So I don't know what it is about apple this week, but we've kind of really, gone overboard with it.
I know.
But I thought it was good. I mean, I thought, yes, I was a bit surprised, pleasantly surprised about grilled cheese. And it was so funny because when you said grilled cheese, I said, oh my God, your dad's going to love this.
Yeah.
He loves grilled cheese. And he prides himself on being the master grilled cheese cook.
So, I'm catching up to him, so he obviously has to work on his grilled cheese more because...
Well, he's got, a pretty good grilled cheese game. And I was, your siblings will tell you that. They like his grilled cheese, and,
I said I'm going to make this for everyone this summer.
Okay.
Down there.
That's perfect, because, we do have some leftover barbecue chicken, so my sister makes this recipe called cracked chicken. And I said, I told your dad, I said, I'm going to make Angie's cracked chicken with the rest of this barbecue chicken. So I'm going to hopefully do that tomorrow, mix it all up. And I'm excited about that. So, because again, it'll have some cheddar, but it also have my cream cheese in it.
There was something else I had to say, and I can't remember.
I'm sorry.
No, I can't. What was it?
Well, we had apple in that conversation. I had whiskey in that conversation.
It wasn't about that.
Was it about the sandwich? Oh, you're going to make it this summer?
No, I don't remember what I had to say.
Well, I'm going to say this about the wine. I loved it with what you paired it with, but I'm telling you what, because we're not pairing it with that right now while we're talking, this wine is a perfect conversation wine. To sit just wherever, and anybody who personal people who follow my personal social media accounts know that I'm cleaning up the balcony right now. I'm getting my lights set out because it's wine sipping season on the balcony here. And many of you have kind of commented on, the post that I made with the balcony, but this is exactly the kind of wine I like to sit out there, listen to music, listen to a podcast, put my feet up on the couch, and just sit.
Yeah. Well, it's perfect timing because Welcome to Wrexham Season 5 comes out next week. So you can watch that out on the balcony.
I started to say I'll have to take a device out there because I can't take my TV out there. But I'd have to watch it on a device.
I would say we could take my computer, but we wouldn't be able to see half the screen.
Yeah, only one person would get to see.
You couldn't see the other half of it.
Yeah. So, yeah. But, my laptop's got a pretty big screen, so I could do that. But, I would take a device out there and watch and, sip my wine. I like sitting out there sipping. We
watched the last episode of Sunderland Till I Die on the balcony together.
Did we?
Yeah, remember before you had seen it, I made you watch the last episode.
Oh, okay.
Because I was watching it and you needed me to go out there for some reason or something. And I was like, well,
I was
I'm
lonely.
bring my computer.
I was lonely. Didn't want to be sitting out there drinking by myself. No, it's not. I mean, I do sit out there sometimes without drinking, and I don't want people to think that's all I do. But
well, I'll have to do that more because I have like a list of sports documentaries I need to watch.
Yep.
And I have not watched any of them. I think I started episode 1 of Beckham, and I've gotten like 5 minutes in.
Well, I can say this. Now, it's so funny because the distance between where you're... Oh, sorry, that looked really bad. The distance between where your dad sits on the couch to play on the PS5 and where I'm sitting outside... I mean, and we're looking like... We can look straight at each other. But the distance is so far that he cannot hear... Well, of course, he's got the headset on and everything. But he can't hear what I'm doing, what I'm listening to, who I'm talking to. And I can't hear the PS5, which I guess, again, it's all because of the headset. But you could sit out there while I'm gone and just, watch your stuff. And, that's what I do. Just, that's just my favorite spot.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be busy when you're gone because we're starting rehearsals.
Yeah.
The play then.
Yeah, but how long would that run? 3 weeks?
I think until the beginning of July, and then we have a break.
Oh.
Until August.
So you're probably going to get 5 to 6 weeks of rehearsals in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be a lot. I don't know how many nights a week you're going.
Twice.
2 times a week. So, yeah, that's going to keep you busy. But, I won't be here to constantly ask you to do stuff. Yep, I'm going to see my granddaughter graduate from high school. My goodness gracious, I feel old.
I gotta make like a something wine together for the race so that I can.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I will say
I mean, I also want to make some shirts for the play that I make the shirts so I can give them to the cast as a gift. I hope none of them watch this because I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to get back to look.
Yet, so,
that's right. I want to get back to the wine and the food, and then because we've kind of okay. I want to say we've talked a lot about the wine, where it's from, what kind of how it feels, and we also talked about why it worked. This wine, the acidity that we have in it, worked with that aged cheddar. Absolutely, but also with the sweet barbecue sauce. I thought that was, probably spot on. So, even though, and we had not tasted this wine beforehand. We simply read about it. We bought it because we liked the bottle and we liked the price. And then we looked up a little bit about the wine and what foods would go with it. And you picked the perfect pairing, I will say. So it's almost like it was comfort food that tried to be sophisticated. Because it had this really good... what tastes like expensive red wine. And, the kind of wine that, like I said, you want to impress friends, or, no, I say friends, but you want to impress people with that maybe we want to become friends with them. So I just felt like, and then the cheddar cheese being just the MVP. It definitely was the best part of this whole pairing, I thought. So I just think, the lesson I took from this is that the pairings don't have to be expensive or complicated. I mean, you know, this is something, like I said, grilled cheese is a mainstay in this family. A mainstay. And it also is one of our favorite comfort foods. And the way that it paired so well, like I said, it just felt sophisticated. I don't know.
Yeah.
Worked for me, anyway. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I really like this wine.
I like the wine too, and I'm going to actually drink more of it right now because we're going to sign off.
We'll be back next week with a new bottle of wine and a new food pairing. In the meantime, if you want to join the conversation, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Wine Together Pod. Join our Facebook group, Wine Together Podcast, and if you don't want to miss out on our regular weekly episodes along with all of our bonus content, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as liking, subscribing, and commenting on our YouTube, Wine Together Podcast.